a lot of good memories associated with the city, and it's pretty cool to be back here.
Why do you love it? How did it feel that the Eagles made a play on him really, really early in free agency? They were completely sure about you. What does that say about this organization and the importance that they've placed on defense as well as on the offensive side of the ball?
Yeah, it was cool. They were on me right away in free agency as soon as it opened up, and they had a vision for me, and they said I had an opportunity to make an impact on the team, and that's all I wanted to do.
Zack, what's it been like this week being back in?
Very interesting, a lot of feelings, like even like the smells bring me back to certain periods of time. But it was cool to see some of the athletic trainers and the equipment people that are here in New Orleans. It's cool to be back.
What does it smell like?
I don't know. I don't know.
The challenge about facing that duo of Mahomes and Kelsey, and just seem to be always on the same page.
Yeah, they have a great connection. Two really, really, really good players who have been doing it for a long time, and obviously been in this situation before. Great connection, and it's difficult to go against because you're forced to play that second play within the play. You have the play that's called, and then the play that they run and they make up. So it's going to take all 11 guys.
Zack, I know you already played a game in the Super Bowl. What was it like just even last night walking on that field and seeing I'm in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, it was more comforting to me knowing that I've played a lot of games on that field and been in that stadium a lot of times. So, and then as far as being in the Super Bowl, just not making it as big as it is, kind of minimizing it in your mind, and just not go chasing waterfalls really.
Hey Zack, we were talking to Nick Sirianni, and he talked about this team, this collective, embracing adversity. And they lost in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and then they had the collapse last year. And you got the sense when you came here that you felt that mission, you kind of joined in with that mission?
Yeah, when I got to Philly, it was like I could feel the heartbreak and the uncomfortableness of what was going on, what they had experienced last year. Obviously, I wasn't here to experience that myself, but immediately I could tell that this team was on a mission to do something special.
And have the young guys and the new players kind of follow that, the lead of the team and the veterans who went through all that?
You're spot on, exactly that. You take after what the head coach is saying, what the former players, what the current players are up to, and just hop on board and got to go complete the mission.
I think most of the football world is seeing you doing this here. Are you surprised by this at all? Did you know that this was coming?
I knew physically I had the capability to be a pretty good player, but it just took me a while to get going mentally and transition from different positions on defense and try to get used to coverages, schemes, run fits, my eye progression, stuff like that. So physically I knew I had the tools. It was just getting in the right situation and being in the right headspace to do it.
Your defense faces more no-huddle plays than anyone else this season. How difficult is it to communicate in those situations, and do the defense often repeat the same play just out of simplicity as another thing?
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. As far as no huddle, it's a tool that the offense can use to get defense off track, teams that communicate a lot. And we're one of those teams, so we know what we're going to see. We know we're going to see no huddle, and it forces us to make our communications really fast, and we do it in practice a lot.
Oh, I've been sleeping fine then.
Jordan, how do you guys keep it light and getting ready for the game?
Yeah, I've done a couple of walkabouts, especially when we first came here. Got trapped in the Lavalier store. I don't know if you know what that is, a little facial place in the outlet underneath or right next door here. And I was trapped there for about half an hour. They were trying to sell me on a couple of products, and I just didn't have it in me to just get up and walk out. But I just kind of told the lady, hey, I'm late for dinner. I've got 5 minutes. That's all you got. She was kind enough to let me leave. So.
You guys this week has been don't go chasing.
I think it's sort of the same thing, just being present in the moment. Not making the moment bigger than it is, and don't go chasing waterfalls. Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Jordan, you obviously have a ton of admiration for Stout. How did he, as you look back, take a rugby player?
Shoot.
This kind of a powerful tackle.
Well, thank you for that. I have no idea. That is a Jeff Stoutland question, but I will tell you this. the person and the coach that he is, the passion and care that he has for a player, and not even just for me, just for everyone in that room, is probably what sets him apart. And you know, from every other coach, just he cares. And his biggest fear is making sure. His biggest fear is when we're not prepared as players. And so I think he uses that as motivation to be the best coach that he can be. Yeah. More passion, more energy. Sorry, it's a little joke. I know you guys know it. Yeah, I'd say that, man. Just the passion that he has. That's special. When a player can see that a coach cares, like he truly cares, and he's not afraid to tell you how bad you are. You have to be willing to accept that coaching because it's coming from a place of love. He grew up with tough love, and that's how he coaches. I grew up with tough love, so it's probably why I was able to transition the way I did, because I was just used to that. That's just how my dad was. So I think when you see that love being physically portrayed through his actions, through his words, the player will go 1,000 miles for him.
Hey, Jordan, last night,
it's pretty fun. I've been pretty honored to be coached by Stout, and I think he does a great job of coaching the technique and detail of the run game and the schemes and the techniques that should be applied in that run. But yeah, it's pretty fun. Yeah, we knew what we were getting in Saquon when we first got him. Just didn't really know the ceiling that we're going to go to. You know, it's hard to tell, just especially with, you know, again, this was part of blocking you guys out was, is the Philadelphia Eagles O-line going to replicate the same, you know, style of run game or pass game because Jason Kelce retired? You know, we kind of blocked all that out. We're like, we know what we have in this room. We know the coach that we have. He's not going to, you know, set us up for failure. He's always going to keep going and keep coaching as hard as he can. And I think that's a big reason to why we're successful is the coaching, to be honest. I mean, that's cool, but Donald's not on that field, mate. But, like, you know, that's cool. But again, that's blocking out the noise. What am I going to do thinking about Donald Trump? How's that going to make me win the game? So. Louis Reese? No, I did not. A little busy. Sometimes I don't even speak to my family, so yeah, they haven't. Yes, ma'am.
Last night, Jalen Hurts.
I was surprised he didn't travel with us, to be honest. But it does feel weird without Kelce, man. I think when you get to know him on a personal level, you kind of miss that when that presence because you know him on a personal level. So yes, definitely missed him.
Last night, Jalen Hurts said that Super Bowl loss really lit a fire in him. Mm-hmm. And then Nick just said last year that collapse, he was actually grateful for it because you embraced the adversity of that. How much did you grow together from those losses and everybody kind of jump on board with the mission?
I mean, after a year like last year, you kind of, heading into the new year, you kind of don't want to repeat that. You know, you don't want history to repeat itself in that way. And I think lit a lot of fire under a lot of guys on this team that are still here, part of this team now. And you know, I agree with what Nick said and what Jalen said because you have to want to, you know, get to the highest stage you can, but you can only do that if you learn from your mistakes. So.
But like Lane said, it can make you or break you. So did you see the team really become closer together to overcome
with the guys who were here last year? Yes, absolutely. We became closer because of that. Just because we're all professionals, but we all want to win. And you know, last year just wasn't up to the standard, and you know, we're not going to let that happen again. So the guys who were here last year definitely, you know, we're all a little bit closer, just going through that adversity. Somebody who understands your circumstances.
Yeah, man, we put a lot of time in, and he's really had a great year. Wayne, how would you describe Kellen Moore's leadership style and just how he's commanded that room this season?
Yeah, Kellen's a great offensive mind. I think what he's been able to do this year has been outstanding. But I've got to watch him from afar growing up. When he was at Boise State, and so obviously his accomplishments as a player. But I've seen him as well when he was in Dallas and what he was able to do there. So I think he's truly a great leader. In our meetings, I feel like we accomplish a lot, and we're very efficient with our time. And he makes it very easy for us.
Is he someone that's able to command accountability and all
Yeah.
that stuff on TV?
Yeah, most definitely. And there's times when he does it there in our meeting room. So and this is my first time getting to my first year with him. So it's been fun. He establishes a presence, and man, we trust in him with everything.
What does a dominant running game do for an offense? What kind of attitude can that
Well, it can definitely help the time of possession. It definitely helps the offensive line if you can make the guy on the edge who doesn't want to necessarily play the run, they want to get sacks. And so if you have to make them honor that and then try to mix up the pass game with it, it makes it a lot more difficult for them than just a true drop back, where they become truly just pass rushers. So it helps everybody.
The whole narrative that the running back position can be anybody could just step in, dime a dozen things from a couple of years ago. What do you think that Saquon and Derrick Henry this year have done to kind of change that altogether in the overall business of how running backs are going to get paid and what the running back position means to an offense?
Yeah, there's outliers, and I feel like everything is cyclical. I feel like those few years that teams were, getting guys in later rounds or maybe somewhere and still having great success. But, there's a lot of common denominators, and I think it all takes – you have to have some talent, both O-line, D-line. But, we talk about Saquon and Derrick. I mean, those are two guys that are truly unique. And, but, hey, I'm all about the running back position. I'm all in favor of the running back position. Nobody loves the running back position more than me, so believe that.
Sounds like a couple of you guys went to Nick early in the season, maybe the bye week, and kind of said, we need to go with Saquon more. What do you remember from that? What was the message?
Yeah, it wasn't like a fireside chat. It was we were in the offensive meeting room, and we were 2-2 at the time. We wanted to find out how we could be a better offense, score more points, and I would say it was pretty similar to 21 when we played the Lions, and I would say it's a pretty similar situation.
Wayne, Nick Sirianni said that you guys embrace it.
We all did, but we have the coach calls the leadership council, so it's a group of probably 12 guys, so pretty good amount of the team.
Nick said you guys embrace adversity, and you said last week in Philly that through adversity you become closer. Did you sense after the Super Bowl loss 2 years ago what happened at the end of last year? You guys really grew from that, grew closer together?
Yeah, I mean, I think, with any adversity, it either, makes you or breaks you, but I think it's something that we definitely learn from. And I think the team that wins usually has the fewest mistakes, and there's a reason that Kansas City has been here, 5 of the last 6 years, because they don't make many. And we definitely, the hunger's there. It's been there. It was motivational for the at times, but coming in this week, man, you have to be so in the moment. You can't be worried about what's going to happen, what has happened in the past. You gotta go with it, man, and go for it.
Did you sense the younger players on this team jumping right in, taking your leadership, and kind of being a part of that mission?
Yeah, I mean, those guys, the guys we drafted, you don't have to tell them much, man. They're wired wherever they came from. They have no issues with working. You don't have to tell them much. So, they're great competitors, and really, hey man, it's good to see guys like that.
First and now, obviously the backup quarterback at KC. I wonder, what was it like playing with him?
Just winning championships at Georgia, you playing a lot of big games and you kind of get used to it. And you're never too high, you're never too low. You try to stay even keel, especially in big games like this. And you always tell yourself, though, you work for this moment and you earned the right to be here. Man, I'd say coach push us forward. and he always pushing us to be better, challenges ourselves, look inward at ourselves, and especially re-problem solving. And that's one thing he talked about, and I think he delivers a great message every week on what we need to do as a team. Like a lot of people, and then the different roles between offense, defense, and, I just love the way that his attitude and effort and the energy that he brings to the game.
He said he can be really fight Steve. Have you felt that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They pumped up. No, it's surprisingly not a lot of streaming. It's a lot of circling more than anything. Like on the Jumbotron, a lot of this, and a lot of this, and a lot of we can't do this. We can't do this. And mostly, the things that man, he tell you can't beat yourself, especially in the league. So I think that's just one different thing that I never thought about.
From your point of view, what's the most important thing that you bring to the table that you brought to the season that you can bring to the Super Bowl?
I just say, man, my work ethic and just trying to work hard. And that's one thing that I bring with myself anywhere I go, any team I play for.
Really quick question. First of all, favorite TV show when you were back a kid?
Man, my favorite TV show, you probably ain't gonna know it, but Boondocks.
Yeah, that's great. I'm going to do it.
Oh, okay.
Best player of all time in your position?
Best player of all time in my position. There's so many ways you can go about it, but I mean, my favorite player of all time, it has to be between Von Miller and, man, I gotta say, just the linebacker position, Ray Lewis.
Okay, excellent. Your personal goal?
Personal goal for the Super Bowl, obviously, man, to win. I'm here to win. I ain't got no alternate goals or none of that. Like, I could care less, by any means necessary.
One NBA player makes all the guys give us some crazy answers. Who, what NBA player you're most confident you can get a bucket on?
I can get a bucket on?
I got some crazy ones, not gonna tell you, but you tell me.
I'm not gonna lie, but I seen Kyrie in person, and he, like I f with Kyrie, but I can't do it. Like I could get a bucket on Kyrie.
Arguably the best ball handler of all time. You can get a bucket.
Yeah, I'm not. You said score. I'm going straight to the post, and I'm giving him straight shoulders, and then I'm doing a simple layup.
Let me ask you this now. Game 11, 1v1 make a chicken. What's the final score?
Me and Kyrie? Oh, I'm losing. You said a bucket. That's one. That's one singular one.
What would happen in a 1v1?
Man, I get destroyed. I lose bad. Just because I can't keep doing the same thing. Eventually, he gonna figure me out. So.
And then one more real quick. Who is, in your opinion, the most famous number 3 to come out of professional Philly sports?
Obviously, man, I didn't know anything about that. I picked a number for my mom.
Okay.
That was her number in high school, and just, like I love my mama, and when I had the opportunity to get that number, he said, it's either 3 or this, and I said, man, that number calling to me, and it's also God's number.
Yes, it is. Have you met any idol before?
No, I haven't, but I love to, man. That's like a great in Philly.
3 legends, man. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, appreciate it.
Jalen Hurts and the Eagles have talked about the standard that they set for everybody. Can you give us an idea of how they do set the standard for everybody on the team?
Man, I'll just say, what was your question again?
So Jalen Hurts and the offensive linemen especially talk about this standard, the Eagles standard, like the standard you have to play to it, everything you do. Can you give us an idea of how they do set that standard for you guys?
I'll say most definitely up front, they set that standard by, look at the first play of the game. Like our offensive line picked up almost every block, a bunch of guys on the ground, first play of the game, and Saquon breaks it to the house and on a run. So I say our standard is tough, guys fly around, and I'll say that's an example of the standard, the first play. Another example, man, Warren, knocking that man to tomorrow in the Green Bay game, that was a big play. So
Nolan, obviously
man, I think it'll be tough, but it's part of the game. It's part of football. People do it on us, but they just not successful at it. And when people do it, they don't it doesn't look like the way we do it, and so people get upset that's watching the game, but it's part of the game. And I just know that's like one of the, especially like for a guy like me, I'm light, so you would think I wouldn't want to be down in there, but I bite some kneecaps off, especially when it comes to that. And I like that play though.
You think the idea that
Is completely out of proportion, and I say if you think it should be banned, you come do it against me, and I'll show you how I stand you upright, and then do it against Lane, and I'll show you how he'll push you all the way to 5, more than just 1 yard.
Nick Sirianni talked about last year.
Once the dog is always the dog. I've seen you do it all over the field. How does it feel to be playing with your former teammates like Nicole Bean, Jalen Carter? How does that feel?
Man, I'd say it's crazy. It's one of those feelings that's so real that you can really go out there with your brothers, and you know, in the moment you take it for granted because you think they always gonna be there and always gonna do this, and then we had that tragic thing happen in the COVID, and that's why I ran out with his jersey. And I just tell people, like, a lot of times it's bigger than ball. Like, the people I've been hanging out with the whole week is our whole D-line. And just happened to 4 of us or 3 of us are from Georgia. So it's really like, it gives you that home type of feeling when you can look next to you and you know what the guy's going to bring next to you and what he's bringing.
Just like you said, you have to cherish those moments. What are some encouraging words that you said to Kobe? How important is it for you guys to bring back this championship for you?
Hell yeah, I just told him, especially, man, that second natty that we went to, I told him, I know how you feel. And a lot of people can't tell you that, but man, I really don't know your pain right now, but I know how you feel inside. And, bro, if you ever want to talk and stuff like man to man, you know, that's what a lot of it comes to. That's why we can push each other so hard, because we kind of, you know, go through those struggles together with each other.
Speaking of struggles, when you had the season last year and the way it ended, Nick Sirianni just said you guys embraced that adversity. And these guys were saying maybe it brought you closer together. How have you felt like the mission of this team overcoming Super Bowl loss 2 years ago? You weren't here for that, but last year as well, and collectively became closer together.
Man, it got really real last year just because, you know, you get to see guys make their last game speech in the locker room, and I didn't want that to happen just for Kelsey, you know, man, that's kind of tough. And that's like my first year in the league. So, you know, I'm just really going through it and learning about it and taking it all in at that moment. And that was my first playoff win and first playoffs loss. And then, you know, a person that I feel like brought me into the league because his mom announced me, then I got to see him leave. I only played 1 year with him. You know, it kind of hurt. And especially Fletch, man, you know, when Fletch talked, and, you know, he was more upset more than anything, and he just, you know, kind of, you know, handled it in the way Fletch does it, like a man. And, you know, he came by and hugged every one of the D linemen and then shook our hand. And so that was his way of saying goodbye, but I didn't know, you know, I thought guys did that every time.
How has that fueled you this year as a team?
Man, I just don't want that feeling for nobody. I just don't want that feeling. And, you know, like people say, it's want to go home. So, and that's what we're trying to do, going 1-0 every week. And this is one of the weeks that we still got to just go 1-0.
Say hi to people from Mexico and all over the world. They're here.
Yo, no, I haven't had a piece of candy. I usually don't eat candy. Now I don't eat candy because I want to keep my teeth white. But at this point, you know, I still don't eat candy.
Whenever you're ready.
I give out the big chocolate balls on Halloween, so I am a producer of it, but it's kind of bad. But yeah, no, the sacrifice in the game is crazy. You know, it's a lot of guys that eat healthy, like eat different things. You know, I eat a lot of wild meat, so that's why I feel like I get a lot of strength. You know, I'm from Savannah, Georgia, right here in New Orleans, and man, I just feel like it's a lot of struggle that people don't know about.